Service. It's your garden Staudinger here from Munich, and today we're talking about a gardening mistake that's so quiet you can barely hear it. But it strikes so reliably that it wipes out rows of plants every single year. Most people think winter equals frost and frost equals death. Freezing temps, snow, ice, that must be it. But honestly, the frost is often innocent. In truth, plants rarely die from the cold in winter. They die because they're dying of thirst. Quietly, politely, without any big drama. Like someone at a party who doesn't drink anything the whole time and only realizes the next day that it wasn't a great idea. And today, we're taking a close look at exactly this silent thirst. Chapter 1. Winter isn't sleep, it's power-saving mode. Winter looks like a break, feels like a break, smells a bit like a break, but for plants, it isn't. Winter is not a deep sleep. Winter is more like, I'm taking it slow, but I'm still here. Plants don't switch off, they just dim the lights. Like an old kitchen radio that's been turned down low but keeps on playing. Or like your phone on power saving mode, nothing spectacular but still alive. Underground the roots keep working. The cells maintain tension, regulate water, and prevent damage. The metabolism chugs along like an old tractor idling. And that's exactly why plants need water in winter too. Not a lot, not constantly, but reliably. If that water is missing for a long time, it's fine, eventually turns into critical. The mean part, you don't see it for a long time. The plant looks okay while it's already running on its final reserves internally. And once those reserves are empty, even the most beautiful spring won't help anymore. Hardy doesn't mean indestructible. Hardy just means I won't freeze to death immediately. Thirst is a completely different story. Chapter 2. Frozen ground is like a locked faucet. Frozen ground is about as helpful to a plant as a full fridge with a locked door. The water is there, but you can't get to it. As soon as the soil freezes through, the supply line is cut. The roots can't reach it no matter how hard they try. Figuratively speaking, the plant is sitting in front of a full glass of water but can't pick it up. At the same time, the exact opposite is happening up top. The plant continues to lose water, not dramatically, not spectacularly, but constantly. And exactly this combination is the problem. No access at the bottom, steady loss at the top. No bang, no alarm, just a slow leak until it's empty. This doesn't happen during one cold weekend, and it happens over weeks. And that's why you usually only notice it when it's already over. Chapter 3. Evaporation doesn't take a winter break. Many believe evaporation is a summer topic. Sun, heat, dust, makes sense. But evaporation is a year-round job. Cold winter air is often extremely dry. And this dry air sucks up moisture like a vacuum cleaner. Doesn't matter if it's -5 or +5 degrees outside. The wind does the rest. It brushes over leaves and needles like a hairdryer without the warm air. And when the sun joins in, even on crisp, clear winter days, evaporation keeps running. The plant loses water while we're rubbing our hands together to stay warm. And that feels wrong to many people, but it's completely normal. The problem isn't loud, it's quiet. And quiet problems in the garden are often the most dangerous ones. Chapter 4. Evergreens, dressed to impress, and thirsty. Evergreens stand there in winter like the overachievers in the classroom. Everyone else drops their leaves and takes a break, but they stand there all polished and dressed up as if nothing happened. But that is exactly their problem. Evergreen means no real break. Through leaves, needles, and even through the bark, they continue to lose water. Day after day, week after week, totally inconspicuous. In January, everything still looks good. In February, you don't think much of it. And in March, the big forehead wrinkling begins. Funny, it looked so nice last year. Yeah, last year it probably still had enough water. Evergreen doesn't mean invulnerable. Evergreen just means, I keep working, even when others have clocked out for the day. Chapter 5. Young plants, few roots, no reserves. Young plants start the winter race with the worst possible odds. They don't have depth yet. No reserves, no cushion. Their roots sit in the upper layer of the soil, exactly where drought and frost strike first. Deep water supplies? None to be found. In snowy winters, this often isn't a problem. Snow is a perfect water reservoir. Slow, reliable, free. But when that snow is missing, that safety net is gone too. Then young plants stand in the dry for weeks without anyone noticing. They still look fine, but internally, things are getting tight. And here too, the damage often only shows up in spring, just when everything is supposed to start growing, Chapter 6. Potted Plants, the Winter Drama Queens. Potted plants are the most sensitive candidates in winter. Their root space is limited and their substrate reacts immediately. What might be somewhat balanced out in the garden soil hits mercilessly in a pot. Dry, frozen, warm again, all in a short amount of time. Especially critical are spots where no rain reaches. Balconies, roof overhangs, house walls, months without a single drop. Many potted plants don't die because they're too cold. They die because they were simply forgotten. Chapter 7. Winter sun is not a wellness program. Sun sounds friendly at first in winter, but it isn't necessarily. Especially on south-facing sides, conditions arise that roots really don't like. Warm during the day, ice cold at night. A constant up and down. It's not the individual frost that's the problem. It's the back and forth. Plants like peace and quiet. Consistency. Extremes drain their strength. Chapter 8. Winter. Watering. Fine detail, not actionism. Watering in winter isn't a hectic rescue mission. It's more like quiet companionship. Not often. Not by the calendar. Not because you have a guilty conscience. Only on frost-free days. Only when the soil is open. And then in a way that the water actually arrives where it needs to. A well-moistened root ball is often enough for weeks. Anything beyond that is usually more for the gardener than for the plant. Chapter 9. Waterlogging. The quick death in winter. Drought is slow. Waterlogging is merciless. Cold, standing water is a horror for roots. What might still be tolerated in summer often ends fatally in winter. Water must always be able to drain. Air in the root zone is vital for survival in winter. Chapter 10. Mediterranean plants. Less is more. Mediterranean plants do exactly the right thing in winter. They power down. No growth, no ambitions. If kept in the dark, they need almost nothing. If kept in the light, they need a bit more attention, but always with restraint. The goal isn't growth. The goal is arriving alive in spring. Chapter 11. Soil is half the battle. Good soil stores water, buffers frost, and supplies plants even in dry winters. Humus acts like a sponge, mulch like a protective blanket. Leaving leaves on the ground isn't a sign of laziness, it's a sign of gardening wisdom. It holds moisture, protects soil life, and saves you work. Good soil is silent winter care. Bad soil screams for attention. Chapter 12. Watch instead of guessing in winter. Winter isn't about doing, it's about seeing. A look, a feel of the soil, a mild day, often that's enough. Better to water consciously once than to wonder in spring why nothing is sprouting. Because even when the garden goes quiet, plants are thirsty in winter. Outro. So there you have it. Winter isn't just frost and quiet garden beds. Winter is also a thirst test. And whoever takes a quick look now saves themselves the big garden detective work in spring, along with the forehead wrinkling and the, why is it brown now? Tell me in the comments what's standing outside at your place. Is it the potted plants on the balcony, the evergreen candidates by the house wall, or the newly planted shrubs that haven't done their root bodybuilding yet? I'm curious to see who has the most winter tantrums in your garden. If this video helped you, then leave a sub and hit the bell. That way you won't miss any of those things that people only take seriously when it's too late. And if you know someone who says watering in winter, are you crazy? Send them this video. It's basically first aid for greenery. And if all this talk about water has made you want something really good for yourself, then definitely check out my last video. 14 winter superfoods for free. These plants fire up your pharmacy. I'll show you what you can still harvest outside right now while others are watching things wilt in the supermarket. Until then, service your garden Staudinger from Munich. And remember, in winter, plants aren't dead. They're just thirsty.